Hey man, what's up? Duke CT here. This is really response to the this Derek 359. Just the skeptic, sardonic skeptic. Sorry, I can't pronounce your new name, Derek. Sorry about that, uh, but it's not about that. But I do like your videos. I really do. I think you're an interesting person, and even though you're neoconservative, I won't hold that against you. Um, but you know what? I really think that there's something even more sinister going on, and that is the military industrial complex. This is a quote from the book called People's History in the United States. Critics of the bombing campaign argued that terrorism was rooted in the deep grievances against the United States, and that to stop terrorism, these must be addressed. The grievances were not hard to identify. Stationing of troops in Saudi Arabia, a site of the most holy Muslim shrines, the years of sanctions against Iraq, which, according to the UN, have resulted in the deaths of hundreds of thousands of children, the continued support of Israel's occupation of Palestinian land, including billions of aid. However, these issues cannot be addressed without fundamental changes to America's foreign policy. Such changes could not be accepted by the military-industrial complex that dominated both parties, because they would require withdrawing of military forces around the world, giving up political and economic domination of other countries. In short, relinquishing the cherished role of the U.S. as a superpower. Such fundamental changes would require a radical change in priorities, from sending $300 to $400 billion a year for the military to use this wealth to improve the living conditions of Americans and people around the world. For instance, it was estimated by the World Health Organization that a small portion of America's military budget, if given the treatment of tuberculosis in the world, could save millions of lives. The U.S., by such drastic changes in its policies, would no longer be a military superpower, but it could be a humanitarian superpower, using its wealth to help people in need. 3 years before the 9/11 attacks, a former Lieutenant Colonel in the U.S. Air Force, Robert Bowman, wrote, commenting on the bombings of the U.S. energies in Kenya and Tanzania, quote, "We are not hatred because we practice democracy, value freedom, or uphold human rights. We are hated because our government denies these things to people in the third world countries, whose resources are coveted by our multinational corporations. That hatred we have sown has come back to haunt us in the form of terrorism. Instead of sending our sons and daughters around the world to kill Arabs so we could have oil under their sand, we should send them to rebuild their infrastructure, supply clean water, and feed starving children. In short, we should do good instead of evil. Who would try to stop us? Who would hate us? Who would want to bomb us? That is the truth the American people need to hear." That alone, right there, that nice quote. I'm going to put a link up there in the description after this joint is done. And to me, there's a book, Howard Zinn. It is just a very good book, and that was just one thing on this forum. Funny thing was that that guy with the glasses. So I'll put copy, and it's gonna be right there, and a link in the description. See right here. Okay, bam, there it is. Link will be in the description right there, and that's the passage from there. So anyway, but honestly, that's the real problem here, folks. That is the real issue in this whole Iraq war, is that the military industrial complex. If, in short, including former presidents, have talked about. Former President Eisenhower said this about this over over like around in the late 50s, after he was gone. He told the American people about the military industrial complex. In fact, I think it's right here.
On at least one occasion, Eisenhower was heard to say by those in the room, God help this country.
Yeah, here's the link in the description of that as well. Copy. It's on YouTube as well. To me, that is going to be, that's something that needs to be addressed as well. And I don't see any neoconservative. In fact, I think most of them, the neoconservatives, are in their pocket. The most people in that military-industrial complex. And until we solve that problem, we're not going to leave it. We're still going to have hatred around the world. We'll still have people wanting to kill us because we want to control what they want to do, what this, that, and the other. And I want to hear his response about this, because to me, this is one of the most important things right now. This is something in the fine moment right here, because the Iraq War, you couldn't win this war. It was an impossible war. You couldn't win it, and honestly, it is because of our arrogance and our greed that has put us in this position. I really want to hear his response to this, Derek, the Sakonic skeptic. I want to hear his response to this, because this right here, this is really important to me, and I wanted to lay it out. If I'm wrong, please tell me in the most simplest ways. Tell me in the most word of why I'm wrong. Why should I not be concerned about the military-industrial complex? Why should I not care of this situation? Because if the military-industrial complex continues to exist, this country will never get out of war. Because we have been the wars in this country. I mean, we have to stop this, because there are people making money. War profiteering. Because remember, that used to be a bad thing. But now, that's a great thing. And most of the neoconservatives are war profiteers. His buddies, George G.W., was a war profiteer. I know you don't like him, but honestly, in name only, supposedly he was he was going to, he wasn't for nation building or this, that, and the other. But you know what? He was. And the people who built those nations, Halliburton, Dick Cheney's. Well, that to me what neoconservative is. That in my eyes is that's what it is. It's someone coming in, profiteering, war profiteering. That's what it is. And I want you to come in and correct me right now. I want someone, Derek 359 skeptic. I want you, Chris Hiddens. I don't care. I want someone to tell me right now what we did in Iraq and what we did doing now in Afghanistan is worth it. And right now, I don't see any type of positive things right now. And I don't see right now our 10 years or 20 years, 30 years or 40 or 50 years. Nothing is going to change in Afghanistan. Nothing's going to change in Iraq. The only thing that's going to change is the people who are, from one torturous regime is going to be up to another. That's all I got to say. If I'm wrong, please video response, comment, this, that, and the other. It's Duke CT here. Peace and love. I wait for your response, skeptic. Peace out.